You have an immense amount of information about really random things in your mind. And you always have had that.
Look, I'm one of those guys where things get stuck in my head. If something is interesting, it sticks in my head.
I think music collection rather, because that used to be a thing, right? I mean, I think now because so much is available, you make some playlists here and there, but there was a time when there was a lot of effort to kind of find music because it was still physical. And there's a part of me that kind of misses that, because you would kind of go scout around to try to find something. You would hear a song in a club, or you'd hear a song somewhere, and then you'd kind of go look for it. Now it's obviously access is easier, and so also the volume is higher.
And now you've got Shazam now, which makes things like really, almost stupidly easy. It takes some of the thrill out of the chase.
Yeah.
Back then, like you said, you listen to a song in a club, and I remember this as the perfect example for me, because it happened in my life as well. I learned DJing from my wife from Pearl. And back then in the early 2000s, she used to go to the UK, to London, to buy music, because she was playing music on vinyls and she would be in Amsterdam and in London. And I went along with her. And on a Thursday night, we went to this club called Heaven, which is one of my favorite clubs, because it's also where I discovered John Digweed a few years before that. And there were these three artists that were playing there that night, Express 2. And in the middle of their set, they played the song that everybody was singing along to. And it was a really, really nice song. And I didn't know what the song was. None of us knew what the song was. And next day at the record store, when you're buying music, and we're just going through these massive piles of records to see, what we liked, what we didn't like. And I put the needle on one of these records, and it was that song.
Yeah.
It happened to be one of the biggest songs in the UK at that point in time, but I didn't know that, because we just got into the UK that afternoon. And that same night, we'd gone to the club. Express 2, Lazy, became one of the biggest songs in Europe and UK that year. It came out just before, in terms of context, Mojo's Lady. Remember that?
Of course I do. That song,
that was a big one. So
you can say that song, and I can. It plays in your head. It's one of those, like. Actually, I know the video
the guitar riff from Lady is actually from a song by Chic called, I think, Coffee for Two or Coffee for One or something like that. It's a sample from a Chic song.
How do you remember?
Use this information.
How do you remember all these things? I mean, this is something also one more thing about you, right? You have
beautiful music.
Most people don't know this about you. It's not just about music. I think in general, and I think you and I did a call about a couple of days ago, and you reminded me of this. You have an immense amount of information about really random things in your mind, and you always have had that.
Look, I'm one of those guys where things get stuck in my head. If something is interesting, it sticks in my head. And I think what I've specialized in over the years is being able to connect the dots between many different things and creating new identities, platforms, designs out of different dots that I've encountered over the years in my life. I think that's what is the core of my competence, is being able to connect dots, recognizing patterns. And yes, I do have a head full of useless information. I really do.